Hey y'all, it's VSG Sierra, and I asked y'all to ask me a whole bunch of questions on Instagram about questions that y'all had about weight loss. Am I wording that weird? Y'all basically asked me a bunch of questions and I'm gonna answer them for y'all in this video in as much depth as I possibly can without making it too long. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. There is a good handful of questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer them. Make sure if you enjoy this video to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and also leave a comment and let me know what you wanna see next. But let's get into it. So the first question that I got is weights or cardio, which have you preferred incorporating more in your routine? For weight loss, I actually only started seeing results when I started weight training. So I need chapstick, BRB. The weather has been so bipolar that like my lips are just getting dried out. Like, why is it so clumpy? Jeez, I did not expect this to take this long. That was very much needed. Wow, I feel like a new woman. So the first question, like I was saying, weights or cardio, which have you preferred incorporating more in your routine? I've actually only started seeing results when I started weight training, and I couldn't tell you why at first. Now, what I'm not gonna do is try to act like I know all the scientific facts, because I don't. But I do know that weight training is more effective for fat loss because it does increase your metabolism. If you want to look more into that, feel free. I'm not gonna falsely inform you because I didn't go into depth when it came to the research part, but I lost 40 pounds naturally when I started eating in a calorie deficit paired with weight training, and I did not do cardio for the first probably 9 months. And then once I hit a plateau after weight training for so long, I started incorporating cardio and the fat started melting off even more. It's like weight training with a pinch of cardio is like your fat loss machine. And again, if you don't believe me, there is science backing it up, but I'm not the scientific guy. I'm not the scientist, okay? Okay. So yeah, my personal preference, weight training all the way. You can still lose weight with cardio. There's nothing wrong with doing just cardio. You could walk and lose weight. You could use resistance bands and lose weight. You could work out at home and lose weight. As long as you are really in a calorie deficit, you can still lose weight. Remember that. You just can't outwork a bad diet. Weight training is the shizzizzy though, especially because you get to body recomp, which is burn fat and build muscle at the exact same time. The next question is, do you feel people, hold on. Oh, do you feel as if people treat you different? Hold on. Do you feel, she typed it weird, okay? This is what it really says. Do you feel ask people treat you differently now? So I'm just gonna rephrase for her. Do you feel as people, okay, we're obviously not gonna get that one today. I will say I have always been on social media. I have always been a personality on social media and a presence on social media, and always being bigger, I have always gotten those hate comments, always gotten those troll comments, and those comments have not gone away, but they are not the same, right? So that's just the social media aspect. There are people that, you know, still comment on my weight, but that's only because they saw that I was big before, and so they feel the need to still kind of like reiterate the fact that I was already big and therefore should have never been that big in the first place. Those are the kind of comments that I get now, but it's not necessarily the trifling, vulgar comments that I used to get when I was almost 300 pounds. In real life, I have noticed that surprisingly people talk to me less. When I used to watch weight loss videos, I used to see people talk all the time about how people actually started treating them better and talking to them more. I would say more people talked to me when I was bigger, but they were not as nice as the few people that talk to me now are. When I was bigger, I was told that my fluffy face looked a lot more approachable and nicer and people could talk to me, but I wasn't necessarily always getting flirted with. I was just always being like, people would just kind of talk. But then again, it wasn't that often either. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to put it because it's not like I just like go out and everybody like wants to talk to me. But nowadays, I feel like people that even that I know say that I look like I have an RBF at all times, a resting bitch face at all times. And so when that kind of circulates, I'm kind of like confused, and I'm like, maybe that's why people don't want to talk to me as much. I'm told that I look more intimidating. But yeah, so I guess that one is kind of like up in the air still, kind of pending. I don't really know what to say for that one yet. This body is still very, very new to me, and I haven't used it outside that much. I'm still always in the gym and just at home working out, grocery store and home, things like that. So when I go outside, maybe I'll come back and answer. What has been the hardest thing in your weight loss journey? Okay, let's think about it. The hardest thing for me used to be staying consistent after thinking that I failed. Whenever I would try to lose weight before, and I would be on a good diet for like a week or whatever, and then I would binge eat like a sleeve of Oreos or something like that, I would totally crash out and totally self-destruct and continue to binge, because I'd be like, you failed, you suck, you suck, you suck. And that was something that I struggled with before. This time around, I think my biggest struggle was going through a grief for my brother who had passed away. That it was like a total mental shift for me. It was mentally hard. It was mentally draining. Like, it took a lot out of me. And it's crazy because what the gym actually did for me through that was more than any person could have ever said that they could have done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually so shocked that the gym was my escape as opposed to food. You know what I mean? Like, food used to be my comfort, and when I was grieving, I was in the gym hitting new PRs like back to back to back, like just eating a whole bunch of protein back to back to back. And you know, it was helpful. It's still helpful to this day. But another hard part is you know, staying motivated and trying to find different ways to eat. One of the hardest parts is learning about your nutrition, your macros, and understanding why everything is so important as it is, like your calories, your fats, your carbs, your protein. The hardest part is learning. There are so many different hard parts. I've had so many different hards throughout this journey. It's hard for me to say, you know, at this point, this was my hardest, and then at this point, it always changes. I've always had different points in time where different struggles were the hardest for me. There was the grief, then some days it was motivation, some days it might have been the food. And so there at different points have been different hardest things. Sometimes I just talk and I'm like, does this even make sense? I'm trying. I'm trying. I hope that makes sense. I am trying to like answer these without overloading you. That's basically what I said in the beginning. It's really hard for me to answer some of these questions because this journey has been so up and down and crazy. So the next question is, do you deal with body dysmorphia sometimes? And the answer is yes. I used to watch, like I said, YouTube videos of people who would talk about their weight loss journeys, and I would hear stuff about body dysmorphia and be like, how? Whenever people would say that, it wouldn't make sense to me until I was big and I lost all the weight, not all the weight yet, and I lost all that weight. And now I look in the mirror and sometimes I'm just like, I guess body dysmorphia is less about feeling like you're still big and more like I don't really recognize the person in the mirror, which is kind of throwing me off because I know the big version of me more. You know what I mean? Like it's like kind of introducing yourself to the new version of you, but also still feeling like the same old person that you already were. Milo, can you get bro, what? Oh my goodness, I thought he broke my I thought he broke my camera. Ooh, okay. I have to pee. Body dysmorphia, I think it's less about feeling like you're big, which is what I thought people used to talk about, like actually still physically kind of feeling big or just physically not seeing it. I physically look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you're what? That's basically like the feeling. It's like, what? And then you walk away and you think of the you that you have known all these years until you look in the mirror again. That's just the best way I can describe it. So yeah, and sometimes it gets sad, sometimes it gets depressing, sometimes I feel ugly, sometimes I feel like I look sick, but other days I feel like a baddie. And I feel like I could put some makeup on and really like walk a runway or something. I'm like, I look like a model, are you kidding me? That's body dysmorphia, all of it. Just one day I feel like a model, one day I feel like I look sick, and some days I don't even know who I am. So The next question is, are you single? I have to pee. Someone asked, are there any parts of your journey that you are uncomfortable to share because you think people are going to react badly? I would not say that I am uncomfortable sharing certain parts of my journey because people will react badly. I would say that there are certain parts of my journey that maybe I'm uncomfortable sharing because it's a personal uncomfortability type of thing. Like for me, I have PCOS, and I was also diagnosed with hirsutism at the exact same time, which is an excessive hair growth pattern in women. So women with hirsutism tend to grow hair on their chin or their neck or their chest or their butt or their back or their feet or their shoulders or wherever a man typically grows hair, which is anywhere from head to toe, girl. So for me, it's along my chin, and the more weight I lose, the more hair I grow around my face, which is uncomfortable for me throughout my journey, and that's not something that I necessarily share on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily uncomfortable just saying that like I just did. Obviously, here it is, here's the information. I've said it before, I'll say it again. There are a lot of people that suffer from the same exact thing, and you know, it's hard to find a cure. I know there's laser hair removal, I'm still looking into that, but I'm not there yet, and that's just one of my diagnoses that has not gone away with weight loss. I thought it would, and it didn't. So the next question is, Jesus Christ. So the next question is, what made you realize that you needed to make a change? Honestly, the day that I stepped on the scale and I saw 298.8 pounds, my mind was gone. It was blown. I hadn't stepped on the scale since my last weight loss journey, which was like probably 6 months previously. I had been doing yoga every day for 6 months and eating intuitively and healthfully, but I was not counting my calories, which I didn't know was not, you know, right at the time for weight loss. I had only lost 15 pounds in 6 months, and then I stopped losing weight, and I could not figure out why. I would increase my cardio, I would decrease my food, increase my food, and either way, I still wasn't counting my macros, and it just would not go away. So one day I got tired of that weight loss journey, and I ate. I ate and I ate and I ate, and I continued binging, and I got back into my old habits, and I stopped exercising. And one day I was like, I need to step on the scale because this is getting really bad. It was hard for me to even like reach spots in my own body, like my back or like my shoulders or whatever. Like it was hard to just do things and move, and I was in pain in my back and shoulders and knees, and everything was just in pain. But I was like, okay, everything is hurting, and I need to step on the scale and see what this number is. And it was 298 pounds. And that moment I was like, whoa, I'm 2 pounds away from the 300-pound threshold. And that very day, I immediately got on my stuff. I started inquiring about the gastric sleeve surgery. I started figuring out about the calorie deficit and weightlifting, and I got my butt in the gym and I started eating in a calorie deficit, and before I knew it, 40 pounds was gone, and I was getting the gastric sleeve surgery to assist in the rest of the weight loss. I genuinely was scared to hit 300 pounds. I did not know that I was that big, but I knew that I needed to make a change just because everything combined. I was just always in pain, I was always tired, and then I just felt like crap, and I stepped on the scale, and it was because I was 5'2" and 300 pounds. I told myself I would never hit the 300-pound threshold ever in my life. So that was the day that my life turned around, and I can't believe I did it. I honestly can't believe that I stuck to it. The last question that I got it was a long one. It was in my DM, and she basically was like, how is it that your man was struggling to eat at one point and was malnourished? I almost said malnutrition. Malnourished. Basically, how is he not eating and you're like massive? Like, what's going on there? Me and him, we were eating the same exact things, and we were eating at the exact same amount, but he has like an ectomorph body type, and I have an endomorph body type. Ectomorph is basically typically thin, fast metabolism, tall, slim, petite, whatever. And the endomorph naturally comes out, or they're called big boned, or they gain weight easily, they have a slow metabolism, their genetics might be bad, or whatever the case. There's different body types. So with me eating, you know, cake and ice cream and chips and pastas throughout the day, or maybe all once in a day, and then eating one time again tomorrow, but just in a big old pile all at once, we would do that basically. We would binge eat together. For some people, your metabolism is so fast that you just immediately start losing weight. And for some people, your metabolism is so slow and you just keep destroying it. So every time you eat food, your body actually stores it as fat just in case you are, you know, preparing to starve yourself and it doesn't know the next time that it's actually gonna get fed because you barely ever eat. But when you do, it's a lot, and it's gonna remember that and save that and make sure that it uses it for energy later. Then you never expel energy and it just stores as fat forever, right? Because you're not getting up and exercising and things like that. And after he had his kidney infection, he lost like 20 pounds and he became super, super skinny. He had to drink protein shakes as meal replacements because he didn't have an appetite and he was very, very sick. And so, yeah, we basically were eating a bunch of the same stuff, but we have completely 2 different body types. Anyways, like I said, I'm not the science lady. If you wanna, you know, do some more research on the ectomorph and endomorph body types and what metabolisms do when you only eat once a day and maybe binge eat sweets, and you know what I mean? Go ahead and do that research. But for now, that's all the questions that I got. If you guys have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below, and if I get enough comments, I'll do a Q&A part 2. So that was all the questions for the day. But before we go, I wanna tell you really quick that I did launch my 6-week Summer Body Recomp Challenge, and the best transformation will be winning a $100 Target gift card at the end of the challenge, and it's gonna be so, so exciting. We start on May 6th, and if you wanna join us, make sure you check the description box for the link, and then if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, DM me at BSGSierra, and I will get back to you. So that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. If you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and leave a comment asking the next question that you might have, or let me know what you wanna see next. Much, much love. I will talk to y'all next time. It's been real.